My CES 2016 coverage is brought to you by Accessory Power and Status Audio. Check the links in the description down below to find out more information on those companies and the great products they provide. What's up guys, I'm randomfrankp, and in this video, let's talk the most bizarre tech that I saw at CES. Now bizarre can go either way, either really good or really bad. We're going to cover it all here. I'm going to show you guys the top 10 most bizarre tech that I saw at CES 2016. Starting off, let's take a look at a toilet. Yes, a toilet. A company called Koei was showing off a toilet that promotes anal health. No, really, that is exactly what their description said. I'm not too sure how it works, and I don't really even want to know how it works, but it has a few sensors on the toilet seat, there's a lot of buttons on the side. It is definitely bizarre, and it's the best way to kick off this video. Next, let's talk virtual reality, and I'm sure you've seen this before, but this is the Omni, an omnidirectional treadmill kind of system that puts you in the game so you can physically run around. It's kind of cool, and I'm sure the immersion is unparalleled, but just walking around and seeing these guys, I had to stop and think to myself, who in the world would actually buy this? It's crazy, as if someone had the money easily to afford VR as it is, they expect people to then buy this huge thing that you strap into and run around to play a game. I prefer playing my games the old lazy way, sitting back and relaxing or laying down at night, casually playing some games. Now this one might just be the most bizarre here, the Oh My Bod Love Life Crush. At CES, they were showing off this for the females, obviously, as it does a few things for them. It's pretty much a Kegel exercise toy that helps women train their bladders, among a few other things, to the female reproductive system, and also can be used as a sex toy. Yeah, let's just say this thing deserves a spot on this list for sure, and before this video gets flagged, let's move on. This one was kind of confusing. Do I put it on the list of cool things or on the strange bizarre tech list? I ultimately decided to put it in the strange because this Movio virtual reality pod is definitely strange. Pretty much what this is a moving mechanical virtual reality pod that you sit in and it makes you weightless essentially. Showing it off, they had someone playing a space VR game with flight controls with a headset on. But their ultimate idea was you can play, like flight simulators amongst other things in this massive mechanical pod. Now they wouldn't really tell me what their market is, as I can only assume this would be best fit for like an arcade or something like at an amusement park. I don't really know, but I hope they know that people will not buy this for their room or their house, because not only is it massive, it probably costs over $50,000. It was really cool to see in action, but I think it was more bizarre than, something cool that we could actually buy. And the last bizarre tech at CES is Nvidia. Getting into the smart car game, it's not too often you see a gaming company transition into mobile tech, but hey, I guess no one told Nvidia not to. They seem to be showing off some visual computing modules that help smart cars read the road and analyze other cars and surrounding objects, and things like smart navigation systems. I don't know personally, I think this is a huge leap for a gaming company, and it was definitely strange to see them venture out of their comfort zone, which actually can be a huge risk in today's age. Now let's transition over to the cool stuff. First off, 3D printing has developed a lot over just the past 2 years or so. So much that this year at CES, I got to eat a 3D printed cookie. Yes, I was walking around to 3D printed stuff, smelled something cooking, so I thought, and I found a machine actually making cookies. It worked the same way a normal 3D printer would, but instead of plastic filament, it was this liquid ingredient stuff. The one I had tasted like a buttermilk kind of cookie, but I saw other 3D printed cookies with jelly and other fillings inside. Pretty damn cool if you ask me. Next is the displays at CES. To be particular, both Samsung and LG had an incredible showing of their new TVs for the coming years, and both really cool demonstrations. Samsung had a show of 23 of their Ultra HD quantum dot displays, all attached to this giant robotic arm mechanism that would move the TVs around to create this giant show. It was really awesome to see not only the clarity of these screens, but the curves of the TVs, how thin they were, and ultimately the lightweight. I then went over to LG, where they too had a demonstration of their displays. There was a lot going on, including their 112 screen setup of this cave-like room with TVs everywhere. All the screens were connected to put on this immersive show for you, and it really made me want a new TV. They were showing off a ton of other things at their booth as well, like their insanely thin 4K OLED panels, their new lineups for this year, and even a little taste of their bendable screens. They had one on display that kind of curved like an S. They even showed off a panel that could fold like wallpaper, which unfortunately was a one-day thing that I didn't get to see, but I am definitely pumped to upgrade TVs for this year after seeing what I saw. Now, you've probably been hearing about this, but a Chinese company gained a lot of attention, showing off their drone that you could physically sit in and fly away. The EHang 184 drone is literally a little helicopter car thing that is bringing the world one step closer to the reality of flying cars. Unfortunately, they didn't get to demo it, they just showed it off, but it's crazy that this thing even exists. If I were you, I'd keep an eye on this thing for the next few years to see how the market develops and how this shapes the future for flying cars. Definitely bizarre, but it was really cool to see. Winding down is something I showed off at my Razer booth coverage video, but it's Intel's RealSense technology. Intel's doing some really cool things, and you gamers out there should probably be getting pumped. First off, their RealSense webcams. You can do things like scan objects into games. Much like this guy. They scanned his entire upper body and his face, so it is now a 3D model, and imported his face into Fallout 4. Can you imagine playing Fallout as yourself? And the reason I brought up the Razer before is because their new Stargazer camera actually uses this technology to do similar things, like scanning your body to eliminate the background, so when you're streaming, you don't need something like a green screen behind you. Granted, my footage of the demo was a very early prototype when people behind me didn't really do it justice as a demo, but I like where this thing is going. Intel's RealSense was also used in a lot of the racing simulators at CES, like using the head tracking for your head's movement in the car so you can actually look around. Be on the lookout for more of this later this year, it's gonna be crazy. And the last bizarre thing at CES, and again, you've probably heard the buzz, is the $55,000 headphones from Sennheiser, the Orpheus. This entire headphone and amp and DAC unit is $55,000, but it's supposed to deliver the best sounding experience ever, and it's damn near better for that kind of money. These are available for purchase, and you can watch people's CES reaction videos online from when they got to try it out. But what I was more impressed with personally was the much more affordable Sennheiser HD800S headphones. While they are still pretty pricey at around $1,600, they sounded absolutely incredible and are a big improvement over the HD800 original model, and should definitely suffice if you don't have Orpheus type money just laying around. I would love to pick a pair up of these one day, and they definitely deserved a spot on this list. Well, that's going to do it, guys, for my top 10 bizarre tech at CES 2016 video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a big thumbs up down below to show your support. You can follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp, and stay tuned for further CES 2016 coverage from my channel.